The night bled softly into the horizon as Jamie rode through the woods, Sofia's fragile body resting against his chest. Her breath came in shallow waves, the weight of it pressing against him heavier than the armor he wore. The snow fell in mournful silence, each flake like an ember fading from heaven. "Stay with me," he whispered, though his voice trembled. "Please, Sofia." Her eyelids fluttered, half-conscious. "Jamie." Her voice was paper-thin, yet filled with a strange calm. "You mustn't stop." Beyond the veil, "The forest calls." "The forest?" Jamie asked, but she did not answer, only lifted a trembling hand toward the mist ahead. The trees began to change. What once was woodland became spectral. Silver fog wound between roots that glowed faintly blue, and the air thickened with a sound that was not sound. Whispers, thousands of them, murmuring through unseen mouths. He slowed his horse, eyes narrowing. "What place is this?" "The Forest of Souls," Sofia breathed. "A bridge between realms. It does not yield to the living easily, unless you are called." As she spoke, the mist coiled around them, threads of light weaving into faint, ghostly forms, faces that shimmered like reflections in water. Mercy's presence moved among them, unseen yet undeniable. Jamie's heart clenched. "Mercy," he murmured. The voice came soft and close, though no figure stood before him. "Follow the light that trembles but does not fade, for it remembers her." Then the whisper was gone, leaving only the rustle of spirit winds. Jamie guided the horse forward, and the forest obeyed. Branches bowed as they passed, the ground pulsing faintly beneath the hooves as if alive. When they emerged on the other side, the dawn was rising, pale and cold. A small cabin sat ahead, smoke curling from its crooked chimney. The same cabin where fate had begun its cruel weave. Jamie carried Sofia inside and laid her upon the worn bed. The air smelled faintly of sage and blood. He looked down at her, desperate. "Tell me what to do." "Please," Sofia tried to speak but coughed, the sound raw, wet. "In the satchel, vial of crimson glass." He found it and brought it to her lips. She drank slowly, and when the last drop touched her tongue, her body convulsed. A low hum filled the air, deep, rhythmic, alive. Light spilled from her skin, veins glowing faintly gold, her back arching as though something within her had been reignited. Jamie caught her hand and held it through the storm. "Sofia, breathe." "Stay with me," she gasped, trembling violently, her voice breaking through the light. "It burns, gods, it burns." "Then let it burn through me," Jamie said, his forehead pressing against hers. "From this day, if you wish that I move a mountain, then that mountain will move. I, Sir Jamie, declare my utter existence to yours." Her eyes opened, filled with tears, not of pain, but of something deeper, fragile and divine. A small smile found her lips. "And mine to yours," she whispered, her hand rising to his face. He leant forward until their foreheads touched and planted a soft kiss upon her trembling lips. Through the pain, she smiled, faintly, beautifully. The light subsided. Silence reclaimed the room. She exhaled slowly, the pallor leaving her skin, replaced by the faint flush of life. Her body was still weak, but her strength was returning, like dawn through storm clouds. For a long while, neither spoke. Only the crackle of the fire filled the cabin, a sound that felt like safety. Jamie sat beside her, his hand still resting in hers. Outside, the Forest of Souls shimmered in quiet watch, as if holding its breath for them. And somewhere deep within the mist, Mercy watched, unseen, unblinking. Her voice was a whisper to the unseen winds. The bond deepens, the wheel turns still, and love walks the path of ruin. The forest still breathed with ghostlight when Jamie crossed its heart a second time. The path shimmered before him, ancient, spectral, alive. Trees whispered with unseen tongues, their roots pulsing faintly with veins of light. Each step he took was a trespass between worlds. Mist curled around his boots like silver smoke, and every shadow seemed to move with sentience. He remembered Sofia's words before he left her resting by the hearth. "Follow the light that does not burn. It will take you through." Her voice had trembled, though not from fear, from memory. Jamie pressed forward, the air thinned as the veil between realms bent and folded until he stepped through. The mortal cold gave way to an impossible warmth. The unseen realm, vast and endless, spread before him like a waking dream. Rivers of blue flame ran across the horizon, and the stars hung closer here, as though heaven itself bent to watch. In the distance, a faint glow marked the encampment of the resistance. They met within a great stone hall carved into the roots of a mountain, its pillars etched with runes older than kingdoms. When Jamie entered, he was not alone. Behind him, still pale with disbelief, followed Robert. Robert's eyes darted between the floating lanterns and the ethereal banners that shimmered without wind. "By God's mercy," he whispered, "this cannot be real." "It's real," Jamie said quietly, "and we're guests in it." At the far end of the chamber, Elder Merrin rose. His hair was white as frost, his robes lined with the sigils of the old gods. His voice carried like the tolling of bells. "Sir Jamie, Sir Robert of the mortal realm, you walk upon sacred soil. The Queen will see you." A hush fell as Sofia entered. She walked with quiet grace, her body now healed, her presence radiant. The air itself seemed to bow before her. The knights and elders knelt as one. Merrin spoke softly. "My queen returned to us at last." Sofia's gaze swept over them, touched with both sorrow and strength. "Rise, my brothers," she said. "I am no queen until this realm is free." Robert, half stunned, leaned toward Jamie. "They kneel to her." "They always did," Jamie murmured. When they gathered around the council table, the light dimmed to a solemn hue. Maps of broken kingdoms lay scattered across its surface. Robert was the first to speak, his tone sharp. "If she is your queen, why did none of you come for her? You let her rot in that dungeon." The room tensed. Several knights lowered their gaze. Elder Merrin sighed, voice deep with age. "Because to face a crown master is to embrace certain death. Not one man has faced their kind and lived." Jamie stood silent, his hand resting on his blade. Sofia's voice broke the silence, calm, commanding. "He did." Every head turned toward her. Jamie met their eyes without flinching. Merrin's lips parted slightly, disbelief etching his features. "You faced it? Alone?" Robert's tone was edged with pride now. "He didn't just face it. He killed it." A murmur rippled through the hall. One knight whispered, trembling, "No man slays a child of the crown and survives." "Unless..." "Unless what?" Robert demanded. "Unless the gods themselves willed it," Merrin finished. Robert, emboldened, turned back to them. "Then why do you cower behind fear while mortals spill blood in your stead?" Gasps echoed. The insult hung in the air like lightning. But before any could speak, Sofia rose, her tone regal and composed. "Enough. Prudence is not cowardice. Knowing certain death and choosing life is not retreat. It is wisdom. Cowardice is born when fear overcomes courage. These men live to fight another day, and for that I thank them." Silence held. Then, slowly, the resistance bowed their heads. Elder Merrin beckoned them to a great tapestry on the far wall. He pulled aside the velvet cloth, revealing a blade carved into the stone, its form long and slender, runes etched deep into its steel outline. "This," Merrin said, is Veyrath Soulbane, the dagger that can kill gods. Robert stared, breath caught. Kill gods? It was forged before mercy existed, Marin continued, in the fire that birthed Versaris herself. At the mention of the name, torches flickered. A man entered then, the merchant, hooded and gaunt. His eyes were haunted, his voice low. I have seen it, he said, displayed like a trophy in her hall. Versaris, the soul of fire, feeds on the screams of the north. Her land burns with no dawn, and her beauty deceives the hearts of all who look upon her. She is destruction, given form. The room shivered with the weight of his words. We need that dagger, Marin said gravely, to stand a chance against Vagar. The merchant laughed bitterly. And you ask me to go north? Into Il-Ravan? You ask me to walk into living flame? Sofia's voice was resolute. We do. His eyes hardened. And who will wield the blade when it is found? The bearer will perish if their soul is tainted by lust or ambition. Only the pure of royal blood may live to tell the tale. A hush fell. Sofia stepped forward, eyes gleaming with quiet fire. Then I will bear it. Jamie turned sharply. Sofia, no. But she silenced him with a glance. If our world is to burn, then I will be its flame. The merchant studied her, then nodded slowly. Then you have my word. But I want his protection. His finger pointed to Jamie. Jamie nodded once, without hesitation. As the council dispersed, Mr. Vandhal approached, the loyal servant of Evangeline, eyes aged by devotion. My lady, he said softly, bowing, Princess Evangeline Harker, a distant relative of yours, left this realm a gift, a cabin hidden beyond the western ridge. She bade me find you when the wheel turned anew. Sofia's breath caught. You served her? I did, Vandhal said, and now her prophecy finds you both. He turned to Jamie. She spoke of a son who would cross between realms, and of a queen who would make him eternal. Jamie's heart froze. She knew. Vandhal only smiled faintly. She always did. Outside, the wind howled through the mountain pass as the first light of dawn broke across the unseen realm. Together, Jamie, Sofia, Robert, and Vandhal rode westward toward the cabin that would unveil the fate of kings, gods, and lovers alike. And thus the wheel turned again, not by mercy nor by wrath, but by destiny itself.